Welcome back to Edge Work, presented by FanDuel as part of the Hammer Betting Network. I'm Alex Moretto, joined here today by Matt Alber this morning to help break down tonight's games, give out some best bets, answer questions from the chat, and perhaps start with a little bit of a Ranger State of the Union. Maybe a half State of the Union after that. I think we owe it to everyone to not just discuss our teams when things are going well. The Rangers are back is something we've heard a lot over the last 3-4 weeks. It started as a question and has transitioned into a statement. And now I think it needs to be addressed after last night. So I will give you the floor. I did not watch much of that game. I was watching the Habs game.
Good.
What happened? Are the Rangers back? Are they not back? Is it time to panic? Are they still going to make the playoffs? Just walk us through this whole thing.
All right. Higher level, went in before the Flyers game, saw Flyers, Avs, Canes next three, and I'd said I wanted 3 points out of 6, and that would have been fine. You're not going to beat all three of those teams, being realistic. Beat the Flyers, obviously give up that point against the Avs. That's kind of why I was upset with that one, is because you kind of had to figure there was a bit of a letdown, not letdown, but worst game coming, especially against Carolina, who's really fucking good. So not really shocking, but the Rangers were very bad last night. Igor did not play well. Kreider missed the easiest tap-in of all time. Even you could have scored that in beer league. I don't know if I could have scored it in beer league because I never score in beer league, but I think you could have scored that in beer league. We got Vinny Trocheck dropping the puck behind his legs on a breakaway to Keandre Miller for some reason with a back checker right there. That turned into a goal the other way. That turned into a goal the other way 7 seconds later.
We had him in our anytime goal parlay last night.
That was what?
We had him in our anytime goal parlay, Trocheck, last night.
Oh, Trocheck?
Yeah, and then he decided, he's like, nah, I don't want this breakaway. I'm good. In fact, here's a goal the other way.
Yeah, so, that one turned into a goal the other way 8 seconds later in the last minute of the period. That was just a killer. And then the third period was just I'm not going to say out of gas, but the game was done at that point. No, it was a bad game versus a good team, and you're not going to win playing bad against a good team. Definitely talked about how I don't love the matchup with Carolina as much anymore, and kind of saw that start to play out a little bit. I'm not going to sit here and panic or anything and say it's the end of the world. You're not going to beat every single team on your schedule, but no, last night, very bad game, very good team. Didn't deserve better. Igor wasn't very good. He's been in a little bit of a lull recently after kind of that, not recently, but some of these games kind of wrapping his shutout streak. Bad game, good team, gonna happen. At least the other teams in the wild card picture actually lost a game last night for the first time in what feels like months. I mean, I know we were talking about it off air. It's just insane. I looked at it, I think it was 2 nights ago. I looked at it, and the 9 teams right around that wild card picture, not one of them had under 12 points in the last 10 games, which is absurd. That nobody's losing. Well, now the Rangers are losing, but there's a lot of season left. This is going to happen, but yeah, that's about it. Bad game, good team, probably still better than the Habs.
Yeah, I'll touch on the Habs for, I guess, a minute. That was probably their best game in 2 weeks last night, the Habs. So a little bit encouraging to see that, where they actually came out there and took it to the Jets for most of the game. They had a bit of a lull in the second period. It cost them a couple goals. Getting scored on with 0.5 seconds left is probably not ideal in the second. That kind of ended the game there, but they were the better team last night. Hudson hits the crossbar. Josh Anderson misses an empty net on a breakaway. And Hellebuck just eats every other puck that comes his way. That's what happens when you face the Jets. But it was encouraging to see that from Montreal last night, because they had been trending the wrong way for a while. They need some positive news on the Caden Gooley front, though. He went down last night, and if he's out of this lineup for a prolonged period, then season's over. Pack it up. Wild card race is not happening. They will fall closer to the lottery range than anything. I know he's not I'm not trying to say he's Miro Heiskanen or Drew Doughty, anything like that, but what he does for this team and the minutes that he logs, they simply cannot afford to lose him. That would be crushing. But a step in the right direction last night with that play. Hopefully they can continue to find that level. And I wouldn't say the Rangers are better. I wouldn't say they're worse. I think they're right in that same sort of.
I would say the Rangers are better
up right now, which is on the outside looking in. But yeah,
that's fine. That's Igor based. Igor's played 2 bad games in a row, which okay, that happens to every goalie, but that, I don't want to say it's their biggest issue, but when that is part of they're not going to win games when Igor's bad. That's just not going to happen. But I don't know. That's something that I'm confident will turn around. Oh God.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm sorry. How do you get all those penalty? Is this beer league?
This is beer league.
How do you get 294 penalty minutes in beer league?
Dropping
the gloves out there?
It was a lot earlier in my career, I would say, but I was a very very hot-headed player. Yeah, there were
my mind's
some
blown.
dropped.
Can you pull that back up? Producer behind the scenes, pull that back up.
I'm more impressed that I played 400 men's league games at this point.
I think the most shocking part of this to me is you guys keep stats in beer league that are available on an app.
The league does. Yeah, the league. It's pretty.
I've never heard of
it. It's a very well-run league. ASHL. Yeah, very, very well. No free ads, but very well-run league.
What's your plus minus you think out of that?
Not bad point total for a defenseman, though. I would say.
I was gonna say that's a lot of points. Is every game you guys play
a lot of secondary assists? I will say probably a lot of secondary assists there. There have definitely been
goals in 400 and something games is good.
Definitely been some times where we go to we have some internal competition on the team, and I've been in this league for a long time. Maybe I go to the reps. I'm like, hey, throw 11 on this score sheet there as a secondary assist, and they'll do it. They'll listen. They don't mind.
My mind's blown that you guys actually keep all those stats that in depth.
I don't keep any stats. The league does. The league keeps it. It's all in real time too. If I miss a game, I can go online and follow our game live on the league site.
So 400 and something games. How many years is that over?
Oh, I've been playing beer league since I was 18, 19. Since I stopped playing competitive hockey, so I would say 19, yeah. I've been
trying to do the quick math on this. How many?
And then I've been playing. I've also been playing. There's also been a lot of times where I've been on 2 teams, teams with some of my the team with my buddies and stuff like that, and then a team with my other buddies who are worse, or a team with some of my family and cousins and stuff like that. I have played twice a week for a long time. Now I'm back down to once a week with the kid. Living far away from the rink, it's tough to play twice a week now. It's tough. So I'm mostly just.
I think the chat's with me here that this is shocking that you have all of these stats in depth. I have absolutely none of this. Yeah, that's important too.
We have talked about trying to start a betting ring there. It would be so electric to have that going. The amount of money we could probably make off that would be unreal. But yeah, have not done that.
Is every game you guys play 10-7? Because that's a lot of points for a defense.
No, we actually play a lot of low-scoring games.
Where'd all those
I will say the penalty minutes have dropped off significantly.
But where are all those penalties coming from?
Used to be some.
I think you have more penalty minutes. I genuinely think if I did that math out, you have more penalty minutes per game than there is per game in one of the leagues I play in total. They never call penalties. They never call penalties in our league. They just must call penalties in your league.
We do play low event hockey. We have 3 forwards who we rely on to score goals. Guy who played in the AHL, and then a couple of guys who played high level junior. And then we have a bunch of forwards who didn't play anything and are somewhat anchors sometimes. And that's just how it goes. And we have a goalie who's elite,
calling out your teammates on edge work.
I don't provide much offense. Secondary apples, man. Just get the puck on the stick of the right guys.
You're just under a point a game. Don't say you don't provide much offense.
So I will say. So we played in the highest division for a long time because we had a really, really good team. But a lot of those stats too, or a lot of those goals and stuff, I would say would come from are when I played with my family's team, when we played in the D division, which is a lower division, when I could just go end to end and score goals and stuff like that. I think if I played in the D division now, I still wouldn't be able to do that anymore. But Yeah, a lot of those points were not from like our current team where we play like a much higher level, and yeah, they're coming from the lower.
Oh, so this is like the equivalent of a guy racking up 100 points a year playing in like a third tier junior league and then going up and adding those points with like
and then
points
being
that he has
like
in a pro
a
league.
7 points in like 23 games type of player from like a 33 points in like 30 games to like, yes, that is exactly what it's like. Enough about my beer league career though, maybe.
No, I thought that was phenomenal.
Yeah,
I've never heard of an app that does this. Like my mind's still blown.
I don't know how the producer went and found those stats. That blindsided me. I didn't even have time to prepare a monologue here. God damn it, man. It caught me off guard.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. Great league. Great league. You ever come out this way, we'll bring you out for a game.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
right.
playing with AHLers, I'll fit right in. That's for sure.
All right, let's get this out of the way first.
I could open the doors for you guys. How about that?
I mean, we have an AHLer on our team who is no longer an AHLer, but yes, we played with Malcolm Subban. Malcolm Subban was on our team for a while he was still in the Bruins organization, but he played as a forward. He did not play in net for us. Max Domi came out for a summer with us. We have a lot of guys that have played on our team over the years, and now we have a bunch of washed up dads who drink 4 beers before the game and play like shit and try and win 2-1 because our goalie's elite. That's basically what it's transitioned to. We've fallen a long way over the years.
Yeah,
but
all the leagues I play in are just like guys that play club level or high school or whatever. Like definitely none of these like former pros and shit.
Yeah, you get a lot of that stuff out here. We played against who was it? Who's that Russian guy? I think I want to say Ponikarovsky. I think it was Antropov. Nick
Alexei
Antropov's
Kovalev,
son. Nick
Alex
Antropov and his
Ovechkin.
son. Nick Antropov and his son were both. Is that your phone?
Yeah, for some reason Alexa got triggered right there. I don't know.
Nick Antropov and his son were both on a team that we played against one year, which was wild. They were such a dirty team too. But yeah, we've had some cool names out there over the years.
How many fighting majors in those 300 penalty minutes? Any?
There's been 6 or 7.
You guys can fight in your league?
Not anymore. You used to be able to fight, and then you just got kicked out of the game, and that was it. Now if you fight, it's like a 3-game suspension, and they review the tapes, and like you can get kicked out of the league. Yeah, it's got so soft. Like it's pretty much, which is probably for the best. I mean, I'm like 33 years old now. I don't need to be dropping the gloves anymore.
At 11 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I mean it's probably for the best. Don't need to be doing that anymore. But like sometimes the occasion calls for it, and to not even be able to do anything and to just like it's like a 3-game suspension or like more, I think that's a little excessive. Nonetheless, we're not here to debate the rules of beer league hockey. We are here to talk about the games tonight.
I think we've gone off the rails perfectly.
We have gone wildly off the rails here. That is 100% sure.
I think this is more interesting than us talking about why the Kings and Panthers is going to be low event hockey. I think the chat would prefer talking about beer league for 15 minutes as opposed to that.
Wish you could pull up some highlights here, but probably for the best that we
That's
can.
What we need next. We need highlights of your games. My highlights.
All the games are on. All the games are on. I think you have to get it's called like League Barn or something.
What is it? TSN.
No, it's like a live cam at like these rinks.
Live Barn.
Live Barn. You can see the games but it's like all from like overhead. It's
actually cool. Our rink has that too. Now that I think about it,
we do get clips every once in a while when there's something like egregious that happens. But yeah, I don't think any of us have a subscription to that. Okay, last night on the show.
Fine, go ahead.
I'm moving on. I'm just gonna.
All right, that's fine
for a change.
I think the chat's been enjoying this, but
yeah, that's fine. Appreciate it. Last night on the show we went 4-2. Jets Habs under gets home. Lightning Hawks under gets home. Isles money line gets home, and then the Ducks Kraken over, which had some crazy market resistance. That one was a no-doubter. That was basically decided in the first 10 minutes that was going over. And then we lose on the Isles Abs under 6. That late Romanov wrist shot from the point
that was brutal,
and then an empty netter. That was
also 2-1 in the middle of the third.
Yes, it was 2-1 in the middle of the third.
Like 8 minutes left, something like that.
Frustrating loss there. And then Bruins minus 110 from So Money, which basically was dead from when it started. So 4-2. which is, I mean, and you couple in Monday's results where we went, what, 1, 2, 3, 3-0-1. That's 7-3-0-1. So 7-2-1 to start the week, which we needed after a miserable last week. Hopefully we can keep the momentum going here tonight. Before we get into tonight's games, since I forgot this yesterday and left it very late, and I'm going to do this with some more energy today because yesterday someone said
Beer League is back.
I wanted to off myself when I when I was doing this read. So we're gonna change things up a little bit. The NHL is heating up, and FanDuel is bringing you more action than ever because hockey just hits different. Load up a power play with the hottest same-game parlays found on the Parlay Hub. Lace them up and follow your bets with player prop tracking. Wow. Or bet on the fly with the pulse. Unreal. The hunt for the cup starts here. Get more from the NHL with FanDuel, North America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can kick off the season with $200 in bonus bets. Wow. If your bet wins, just place any $5 bet and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Please play responsibly. Must be 19 plus and physically located in Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-866-531-2600. That's 1-866-531-2600 or visit connectsontario.ca. What do we think? A little bit better there?
Yeah, I like the little wow that you randomly threw in there.
Wow.
Gave it a little pizzazz.
I ad-libbed that.
There's just so much enthusiasm about these ad reads.
That was not on the page. Yeah. All right. Let's get into tonight's games because we do have 5 and some good ones. Not exactly an abundance of games, but we have some good games to get into. We will start with the Wild and the Leafs. That is the first game listed here on FanDuel. Leafs -178 home to the Wild +146. Total of 5.5. Over -114, under -106. I'll start us off here quickly because I know we both have a bet on the next game, but I don't want to always lead when we both have a bet. I'll let you go first on that next one. So for this one here, I don't have anything right now. Wild offense has largely struggled without Kaprizov. Obviously, that's going to be a big loss for them over the next few weeks. They are pretty much back to full strength defensively, though, and we know what they're capable of there. Leafs are also a pretty low volume offense, especially against strong defensive teams. They are banged up right now on offense as well. They have dropped off a little bit defensively, though. I don't know if this is a matchup that they'd be, exploited in that regard by this Wild team, but there have definitely been some cracks there. I don't think either of these teams are right now suited to break down the other defensively. I do think we see a very, very tight game. The issue that's holding me back from this under is the Wild's goaltending. Gustafsson is really fighting it right now. -10 goals saved above expected in his last 6 games, just in terrible form. And Fleury hasn't been great at any point this season. Mostly below average performances at this point in his career. It's hard to count on him to turn in a good effort. Wall's been great. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily concerned what we're going to get from the Leafs in net. I just really can't trust what we're getting from the Wild in net right now. And with where this total is at, I think that's just enough to keep me off this under. Although, even though I do like it instinctively, I can't quite get there given that. And that's going to keep me off the Wild as well, who maybe have a little bit of value just where this number's at, but just can't trust what we're going to get from the Wild in net. Do you have anything in this game?
No, I feel pretty similar. Wild are definitely a team that I want to fade without Kaprizov. This is not really the number or the team that I ever want to lay a big number with. I know you agree with that one. Like laying big number with the Leafs is a death sentence. As far as the total goes, yeah, I agree on it. I do think like if the market still values Gustafsson and Fleury much differently, because Gustafsson's been terrible. Fleury's been the better goalie over the last few weeks here. I do think if we do get a Fleury start and this number moves up and we get a 6 -15, 6 -20, something like that, like then I'd be interested in the under for sure. But as it currently sits, no, nothing here.
Yeah. All right. So nothing on this game for either of us. Let's go to the next game here where I know we do have a play. We have the Kings at the Panthers. Kings right now on FanDuel +134, Panthers -162, total of 5.5, -120 to the under, -102 to the over. Alber, you can lead us off here.
Yeah, so I just don't get why the market hates the Kings right now. I don't understand it. And then like this matchup, like I get the Panthers have been better. It's just this is definitely the Kings thing. I don't understand it. They've been playing well even when they've stepped up. Like they played Florida a few games ago. They played pretty well. Like obviously the Canucks haven't been great, but like they played a really good game there. Like Winnipeg, they played well. So it's like when they've been stepping up here, they have kind of been up to these games, and it almost seems like maybe they've had kind of letdowns when they've played some of these lesser teams in the middle of the season. I don't know what it is. I still think the Kings are really good. I was very surprised to see the number kind of up where it is. I'm going to bet the Kings here for sure. Yeah, that's kind of all it is I think this is way too high in a Kings team that I still think is really good.
Yeah, we can lock it in now. Double best bet on the Kings. Plus 134 on FanDuel. I think that is pretty much best in market at this point anyways. It has run a little bit. There were plus 140s not too long ago when we started the show, but we had to discuss my beer league career for, a little while. That cost us the number a little bit. But yeah, plus 134 is fine. I'm good with that. That's kind of I'd probably go to like around plus 130 here. I talked about this the other day. Like I'm not close to panicking on this Kings team. I know they've lost 6 of 8. Market's swinging a little bit too far the other way on them again, though. They're still playing really good hockey, just like a little snake bitten offensively. Bob is not necessarily playing at a level that scares you. I know the Panthers do give up so little defensively. And with this Florida team, the one thing we've talked about a bunch is effort. When we can expect it, when we can maybe expect their V game. I would expect to see their best here, to be fair. Like they did lose to Vegas on Sunday and lost to this Kings team last week. So I would expect a response from them, but this is also a really tough spot in their first game back home after the long road trip. Not exactly an easy game to play for them to play in. Both teams are also just so good defensively, give up very, very little, that this does make this a little bit more of a volatile game, I think, where chances are going to be few and far between. So it's going to kind of be settled by like a bounce or a weak goal or something like that at either end. When scoring a solo like that, it kind of, I think lends itself a little bit more to taking this big price on the Kings. I obviously love this Panthers team, but like I think we've just swung a little bit too far here. So like even with like the generous home ice adjustment, factoring in the fact that like the last game that they played last week in LA was on a back-to-back for the Panthers. This still closed like plus 110, plus 115 on Florida. This is like a 70-cent swing here. Kings are clearly being downgraded for those Detroit and Columbus losses, which they were very, very good in both games. Could have easily had 4 points. I'm not worried at all. They're just kind of, their play hasn't dipped. They're just struggling to find the back of the net and convert their chances. But hopefully in a low event game, they won't have to do that too many times. And I think this is just a little bit too big of a number still. So double best bet here on the Kings. Let's get into the next game where we have the Flyers and the Devils. Flyers plus 155, Devils minus 188, total of 5.5, minus 118 to the over, minus 104 to the under. I don't know if I missed any confirmations here. Maybe the chat can help out. I am very, very strongly expecting Hischier to not play here. Like I would be shocked if he played. People I talked to who are a lot closer to this team. Yeah, okay. Hischier is not playing. There we go. I just saw from Amanda Stein there. So Hischier not on the ice. Yeah. How much has this number run is the question now. It has run a little bit. I still like the Flyers. Not getting what we were getting a little bit earlier this morning. Obviously, that Hischier news makes a big difference. I still think there's a little bit of room to this. I'd probably bet it to like around plus 155-ish, which is all right. I'm happy to run it back here, though, with this Flyers team. This Devils team without Hischier is just such a different team. He does so much for them. Obviously, Hughes playing through an injury right now. I would be like, I just don't see how you can lay these prices with the Devils at this point. Like they're fighting it right now quite a bit. Even with Hischier in the lineup, they've been fighting it quite a bit. They're not playing their best hockey. They really need to get into this Four Nations break and kind of regroup. Whereas the Flyers, you know what you're going to expect with them. You know the effort level you're going to get from them night in, night out. Yes, sometimes they get through it a little bit by goaltending, but like, hey, the Devils aren't exactly, super strong in that regard right now either. This is just like, look, this, and I know it's a small sample, but like the Flyers have also completely owned this matchup. This is going to be their third meeting now in the last 2 weeks. They were dominant in both those wins. Now, I want to upgrade the Devils a little bit here just because, it is tough to beat a team in consecutive games in this league with these home and homes. Like you kind of do have to, factor that in a little bit. I still think we're too inflated on the Devils right now, the way they're playing and the way the Flyers are playing. The market just cannot catch up to this Flyers team. we bet them the other night. We had the triple best bet, and the market like disagreed with us. The market went back the other way, even without Heischer. The Heischer confirmation brought some Flyers money, and then it was kind of bet right back. And that was, I think, no doubt the right side, the Flyers in that game. They were pretty dominant. That was a pretty convincing win. I think that we're at a similar state here where the Devils are too inflated, and I'm happy to run it back on the Flyers. So I don't know if you're in agreement here. And we can double best bet another one, but I am on the Flyers tonight, and I'm still okay with it at these prices.
Yep, let it rip. Double best bet here. I think the other thing kind of with fading New Jersey right now, and you touched on this last year with Jake Allen, is like, and I feel the same thing about Jonathan Quick, is when these guys are playing every week, every other week, maybe once every 2 weeks, whatever, like it's much easier for them to kind of rest as kind of an older goalie. When you're being called on to play, I think this is 3 games in 5 nights now for Jake Allen, like that becomes very different for some of these guys. And I don't think he's a guy that you want kind of in these little stretches here playing 3 games in 5 nights. So I think I'm even lower kind of on the Devils right now than you necessarily may be. And the Flyers, yeah, I mean, you touched on it. Like they've been playing really well. I don't think they should be getting these prices against the Devils team that has really been fighting it. And certainly when they played, like the Flyers dominated that game the other night. Like that never should have. I think it ended up being 3-2 if I remember correctly. Like it never should have even been that. So yeah, I'm good to lock in the Flyers here.
All right, so double best bet on the Kings, double best bet on the Flyers. A couple dogs from the first 3 games. We got 2 more games to get to. We have too bad so money's not here because his Canucks, who he doubts so much, are back in action at the Predators tonight. Canucks plus 126, Preds minus 156, total of 5.5, minus 118 to the over, minus 104 to the under. Alber, you can get us going here.
I think so money's just ducking the Canucks because he doesn't want to talk about them, and you know what? I don't really blame him. This is one of those games where, I don't know what the more disgusting play here is. Like, do you want to lay minus 150 plus on the Predators, or do you want to take the Canucks as a short road dog here? I don't want either of them. I have no desire to get behind the Predators and certainly not laying these kind of numbers with them. But like the Canucks, yeah, we kind of had that price the other night against the Blues. Predators, it's weird to say like the Predators are better than the Blues. I'm not interested in anything here. I think either sides of this are very gross.
Yeah, I think the market's still a little bit too low on this Canucks team. Like they are much better on the road and at full health. We haven't seen them at full health very much. That was kind of a vintage Canucks game the other night with Myers back in the lineup. They were just played suffocating defense, gave up nothing to the Blues, and got some timely scoring at the other end. Like that's basically what they do on the road, and when they have all their horses back there. But like I also understand why. The market is as high as it is right now on the Preds. Like I've been relatively down on this team, but like I know their recent winning run has not necessarily been like a gauntlet of teams. They've played the Sharks twice, played the Hawks, a banged up Wild team, but like their play has improved. Before that, they were playing really good hockey against some really good teams, maybe not always getting results, but like, especially at home, they've been pretty much dominating teams 5-on-5 on home ice, good teams too. Like we're talking like Washington, Carolina, and the Kings, like they turn in very good efforts on home ice, especially lately. I think you can expect that again here. Not looking to fade the Canucks though on the road at full health right now with the market being where they are on them. And I still am not maybe as high on this Preds team as the market is, but like, I don't think there's all that much value here. I think it's lined relatively fairly. So I have nothing in this one either. Just a good point from Jin Rummy here in the chat that Fleury asked to play his start. I don't know. Well, worded differently, but yeah, he's definitely going to play in Montreal tomorrow. I would expect him to play for the last time in his career in Montreal. One more game in Montreal. Probably ends with a shutout. Gonna be crazy. I'm probably gonna end up having to bet the Wild just on that narrative alone. But yeah, I would expect Gustafsson to go tonight, and Gustafsson has really been struggling.
That's not an emotional hedge or anything.
No, it's not. Honestly, I've seen so many French goalies come into Quebec-born goalies come into Montreal and just play the games of their life in Montreal. It happens all the time. I would definitely expect that to be the case tomorrow. Yeah, Bob confirmed. I would expect that as well, just given they're not going to start night in back-to-back games. They have not been doing that lately. All right, last game, Pens at Utah. Pens plus 118, Utah minus 142, total of 6.5, more so a 6, but 6.5 on FanDuel, minus 140 to the under, plus 114 to the over. Another game where I think is pretty disgusting, no matter which way you attack this. Do you have anything in this one, Albert?
I don't. I'm definitely closer to the Penguins, but that's just kind of a pure Utah fade. The number's not really where I will run it. I was looking for like 130 minimum and up to kind of be interested in the Penguins. I just have no desire to back Utah. The market seems to still kind of like them, and I don't understand why. I think the total's fine. Nothing for me here.
Yeah, I'm still not super high on this Utah team, but like Pittsburgh's been playing a lot better, but they're also so inconsistent where like they'll go out and dominate some good teams and then they'll come out the next night and get caved in by the Ducks or something. Like it's just, you just never know what you're going to get on a night to night basis. Makes it really hard to back them unless you're getting a much bigger number than we are getting here. I also think there's probably no rush to bet this game if you do like the Pens, because Utah money typically floods the market around this time or a little bit later. So you can probably, if you do like Pittsburgh, you can probably wait. I do definitely lean towards the under here. I haven't bet it, and I don't know that I will end up betting it. But like we talked about, Pens are getting better goaltending. Utah's getting pretty consistent goaltending at this point. Utah's been able to tighten up defensively. Offense has dropped off a little bit, and Pittsburgh is playing really well defensively as well. We're getting minus 110s pretty much across the board here. Hasn't really moved at all. Like, I probably will end up betting this. I probably will end up betting this. Just don't know if I want to give it out at this point as a best bet. Honestly, let's do it. I'm gonna bet it. I'm gonna probably bet it, so I'm fine with it. I don't know that we're gonna get much better than this. I just wanted to kind of see where this one ran to. But like honestly, I like the goaltending and the defensive play we're seeing from both teams, and we're just not seeing either of them really get it going too much offensively lately. I think this should be a little bit of a lower event game. And I think with the totals are still a little bit inflated here. There is, if you look a little bit, offshore, so to speak, there is like a cheaper 6, like in the minus 105-ish range. But I'm okay with minus 110. We can go ahead and lock that in. That's fine. So I don't know. Did you have any thoughts on the total, or were you just kind of neutral on it?
I get where you're going with it. That's certainly the way I would lean. I certainly am not as high on the Penguins goaltending right now as it sounds like you are. They also just can't really finish right now at all. So I do get the under. It's one of those that I'm going to sit here and look like an idiot when it's 1-0 halfway through the third, but I'm not going to do it, but I certainly get the way you're looking here.
All right. I think Nedeljkovic has been good for a little while now. I'm starting to kind of buy into his performances. And it's just like, I dig a little bit more into this one. I think it should be juiced a little bit more towards this under. I played a number of Pittsburgh unders now lately. Like, we didn't give it out on the show last week because it wasn't widely available. I had that Pittsburgh under 6 against the Ducks. Had the San Jose game under that ended up playing on Monday. I remember I said I couldn't give it out on the show because I didn't want to give out another Sharks under. And then the second we got off camera, I remember I told you guys, I'm like, I'm betting this under again. Like, yeah, and I did bet it. We did get that one home. They are struggling to score. They're getting better goaltending. I think this has a little bit of this should be more of like a minus 120 to 6. So I think there's a little bit of room here. That's fine. I'm good with it. Yeah. So 3 bets today. We have the under 6 minus 110 Pittsburgh and Utah. We have Kings money line. I don't remember the exact number we locked in there.
130.
We locked in 134 and Flyers plus 159, which is definitely still available. You can get even a tad better than that right now. Is not surprising. More Devils money enters the market, which is like people cannot get enough of this team. I don't get it right now. So 3 best bets for today. Let's throw together a couple parlays here. A no goal parlay and a yes anytime goal parlay. Yesterday's no goal parlay was cruising. Zucker did not score despite the Sabres getting 7. We did not get a Niederreiter goal, and we did not get I'm trying to remember who the third guy was in the early games. But none of them scored from those early games, and then Pierre-Luc Dubois opens the scoring in the late game and cost us that one. So we did not get that one home last night. The anytime goal parlay, I don't even think came close. Let's do better tonight. Yeah, Ross Colton was what's the other guy? Ross Colton did not score. We'll put another one of those no goal parlays together. And then while I'm doing that, you guys can throw your anytime goal scores in the chat. Albert, if you have any, you can try and find here. I'm going to use the BetStamp Pro tool here to try and find some of these no goal edges. I will start with, I know this is tough to build in the background. I will try and go slow, or I will try and say them all, and then we can do the anytime goal scorer and then come back to the no goal scorer parlay. But we'll start with Dawson Mercer, Philly and the Devils. Dawson Mercer, no goal. We will do a Jake DeBrusk, no goal for Vancouver and Nashville. Let's see here, which ones do I like from these? We'll do a Max Pacioretty, no goal, Minnesota and Toronto. Let me just confirm that Patches is playing tonight, though. Yes, he is back in the lineup tonight. Okay, so Pacioretty, Dawson Mercer, Jake DeBrusk. We need one more. I'm gonna try and get one from the Pittsburgh-Utah game since we have the under there. Let me see here. Pittsburgh, Utah. Let's go with Matias Michelli. So Dawson Mercer, Max Pacioretty, Matias Michelli, and I lost my last one, but it's being built out in the background. Jake DeBrusk. There we go. Dawson Mercer, Jake DeBrusk, Max Pacioretty, Matias Michelli. Plus 128. All right, not bad. Anytime goal scorers. Let's build this one.
How about Kevin Fiala?
Kevin Fiala. All right, I'm down for Fiala. Can do that.
And then Flyers. Do we like Mish? Someone just said in the chat too. Do we like Mishkov 450?
Yeah, I'm down for Mishkov. So we'll go with
those
Rob.
Those are the two I was looking through.
We'll go with your Fiala, which means we cannot do Farabee though. Then, so Farabee's out. Sorry, Jordan.
I think I'd prefer
another one.
450. Do we do William Nylander in honor of former producer Zach?
What's his number? Plus 140.
140.
Sure. Why not? All right, we'll do Nylander. So we'll do Nylander, Michkov, Fiala, and we need one more. We can't do Meyer because we have Michkov. I mean, we can, but it makes it difficult to kind of round robin these and such.
Garland 310.
Didn't he scored twice the other night too, didn't he? Kind of running hot right now. Or do you want to go Stammer plus 170?
Or do we take one of the two Canucks that hate each other? Or we can do that.
Let's go Stamkos.
Okay.
Let's go Stamkos tonight. Let's try and get this one home. I think those are some good players we got in this one tonight.
This could be the one.
Michkov, Fiala, Nylander, and Stamkos. Those four, 120 to 1. This could be the one. So, and then we'll recap the no goal one again. The no goal one, when we get that back up, we'll recap one more time, and then we will get out of here. Dawson Mercer, Jake DeBrusk, Max Pacioretty, and Matias Michelli, plus 128. I like that. The no goal is hitting tonight. I'm very confident the no goal hitting tonight.
We've already hit a couple of those, right?
We've hit a couple of them, yes. But I am last night was.
We got to hit the other one.
I was rattled last night when we didn't get that one home. We're getting that one home.
Yeah, we got to hit. We got to hit.
We're going on a run with these ones right now. Yeah. I feel good about
I
that
will
one.
say the nose, like they don't even register in my head whether we hit one or not. Because like, cool, we hit a plus 120, great. Like we got to hit a yes. That's it.
Right.
We got to hit one. We got to
I
hit
know.
one before the fall
We
comes
will.
back, and Joey
We
Knish will
will.
hit one at some point. So
We will. All right, so those are the two parlays for tonight. Recap the bets one more time. We got the Kings plus 134, Flyers plus 159, and the Pens and Utah under 6 minus 110. That will do it for today's edition of Edgework. Appreciate everyone who tuned in here today on YouTube, Twitter, wherever you get your podcasts. Again, I know I say it every day. The likes to views ratio is still relatively poor. If we can get those likes up, it takes 2 seconds, just like the video. Leave a comment, whatever you can do. It does help us out. We really would appreciate it here. Yeah, if you can do that, that would be great. We will be back tomorrow morning, as always, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. It will be myself and Alber again. Until then, enjoy the games tonight and good luck on your bets.